All right. Let me just fix this camera. Hopefully. Oh. Let me just fix this camera. Hopefully. How are we going? All right, just getting set up. I think everything is working. If you can just let me know if the audio is good on your end. And yeah, how are we going? We've got 2 of you watching, tuning in. Thank you. And yeah, I just really wanted to begin a stream and just check in with you guys. Pre-season. It's the end of October, about to kick off into November. I know a few places have had snow already. Colorado for one. A few sort of early season sort of videos I've been seeing popping up, so that's cool. And yeah, so I just thought if anyone wants to get on, have a chat, hang out, see where you guys are at. How's the season shaping up for you? Have you bought some new ski boots for the season or new gear? And see what you're hyped up about. So yeah, if you're there, 3 of you guys, say hello. Love to know who you are. And yeah, it's great if we can get some interaction going. I don't have a lot planned, so there's no presentation or anything like that. So yeah, really just hoping to interact and yeah, get something going. As for the state of how I am over here in Oz, I'm pretty spewing. Yeah, we'll just oh cool, all good on the audio. Thanks, internet slob. Good to see you. Yeah, so Australia hasn't got much better as we lead into November, December. I think December, a lot of things are supposed to lift and hopefully get a bit back to normal. We're very quiet here in Jindabyne. It's almost like a ghost town. So just hoping that tourism can come back. Yeah, because it's pretty miserable. And not much trade happening and not too much excitement. I have been ski touring a bit. The snowpack actually stayed awesome as we went into October. It's probably the best that it's been for holding the amount of snow that it's got up on the main range. So that's been great. I've had a couple of days out there on some Bluebird, awesome skiing days. So I've got another edit coming up, another touring video. So hopefully you will enjoy that. Mountain biking pre-season. It is pre-season for mountain biking. Threadbow opens in a couple of weeks. And yeah, the local trails, some are still closed for maintenance. There is all the local stuff just around town that people get into, but that's always available. So yeah, I don't mountain bike that much these days. I'm more of a trail runner, so pretty hyped to get back into that as well and get some miles up, get the feet a bit more solid again. And yeah, so let me know where you guys are at and if you've had any snow yet. Yeah, we're still getting cold evenings, which is good for freezing what's still up there. And I think it'll still be possible to ski here well into December. So I'll probably try go out 1 or 2 more times, even when it's a bit of a mix of hiking and skiing. At least it will be something to get out and enjoy. All right. Well, I'll keep trying to talk, but yeah. Next for Patriot and for me, I've still got videos planned. I want to keep pumping them out. I hope you've been enjoying the shorter type videos I've been trying to make. I've got some new products that are going to start. They're going to be available in the next week or 2. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. It's been cool to develop some new stuff going into this season. Because yeah, supply chains have been a bit of a disaster. So there's no real overseas sourcing anymore. Not that I really want to anyway, but yeah, getting a lot of stuff made locally is what I enjoy doing. Shop renos definitely have some plan. I never finished my renovations from 2 years ago. So yeah, I've still got to even finish what I had initially planned. So yeah, that all has worked well. We just need a proper winter season to actually, yeah, make some money, and hopefully then I can reinvest back into it. If I'm going to do anything, it's going to be in the workshop. I really want to upgrade the bench that I have there for sharpening and doing custom repairs. So I really want to build that back up, get some better storage, fix the layout. But I'm also considering all my options right now. There's a lot of things in the works as far as I've got to see how summer is going to pan out, whether travel kicks off again for people going overseas. I'd say it's about a 50% possibility. A lot of people are planning to go, but there's just, I know people have gone to work overseas, but that looks fine, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen as far as just going for ski holidays. Am I heading overseas? If possible, I'd love to. I'd love to get back over to the States. And yeah, if the snow show goes ahead, that would be a really sweet thing to check in again. But yeah, if there's any quarantining, the other real big problem that people have started to mention lately is travel insurance. And as far as if you get stuck in hospital, or if anything goes wrong, it could be an absolute nightmare right now, and they probably won't even cover you for those costs. So who knows in that regard? That's a wait and see. But yeah, I'd be stoked if Japan opens up. If I know Canada's open for people to get over there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen on my end. We'll see. But yeah, possibility of changing everything back here anyway. Possibility of not even being in the shop next year. Everything's up in the air. So yeah, we will see. So where are you guys located? What's been going on? Anyone actually skied yet? I'd love to hear that. All I've seen really is a bit of A Basin, bit of the Boneyard, and then like sort of more glacier stuff over in Europe. So people are out there, which is great to see. I think Japan is open mid-January. That'd be sick. That could be good. Yeah, would usually be nice to have that going a bit earlier. Yeah, I've spoken to people who've got property over there, even someone who has a shop, and yeah, the confidence level isn't high, so to speak. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Japan. If it opens mid-January, that will be awesome to get things kicked off there again. But that's almost half the season when it comes to POW. Sort of by end of Feb, it's maybe getting a bit warm. Yeah. So has anyone bought new ski boots so far this year? If so, what ones did you buy? So I personally, my setups didn't change too much. I didn't have that many days on snow, but this year I ran with an S Max 120 as my just everyday resort boot. I was pretty happy with that, and then kept with that S Lab for my backcountry boot, and put a Dream Intuition liner in it, and I was pretty stoked with it. It worked really well. And yeah, next year, probably pick up another couple of pairs of boots. I think these have had their day. Didn't pull the trigger on anything this year because didn't really ski too much. Cool. Anything else of interest for you guys? Throw some questions out at me. It's a bit hard to just talk by myself here because I run out of ideas. I should have planned a little bit more for this. But I will hang out. I'll just sit here until people want to interact, or maybe if you're sick of it, yeah, maybe we'll shut down a bit quicker than normal. That's all right. No worries, man. You can't type and eat? All good. So got any plans ahead for your winter? Anyone doing any travel, either sort of interstate or international? Any big plans on your trips? I think it's just you, me, and here, internet slob. And I won't ruin your dinner. Yeah, so like I say, if things do open up, I probably will get over to the States. If I can, I'd go to Denver, and I'd probably road trip a little bit. In a couple of week trip, I'd probably want to go see some friends at Park City, in Colorado as well, and then maybe I actually want to go ski a bit more in Idaho, Montana area, and I think that would be very high on the cards, as well as East Coast. So yeah, be great to catch up with some people through the East, and maybe even a long road trip around there would be unreal. Gabriel, maybe ski in Europe for the first time. Where are you located, Gabriel? Is that an international trip for you? I guess, what's the situation there if you're traveling around Europe? Is there any restrictions on, or resorts look like they're all going to run and open up and travel come back? I know probably the worst place for that would maybe be from the UK getting across there. I actually have no idea of the status from Australia to Europe. Your East Coast, cool. How's it getting over there, Gabriel? Is it cold yet? Anything opening up? I suppose it's still quite early, as far as for you guys getting anything going. Waiting another month probably till December, make that happen. And what's your local resort, Gabriel? If you have one, if you're not in like Florida or something a bit more south. At least access over to Europe should be pretty good from the East Coast. Wouldn't be too bad of a flight actually getting across there versus the 24 hours on a plane from Australia. It would have to be a pretty decent trip for me to jump on that plane to get there. From Mount Snow, Quebec. The Mount Massif. It's a terrible French accent. Yeah, awesome. Charlevoix, is that like the county? Ice Coast, yeah, for sure. Have they started making snow yet? Have they had the guns on? At least something to get you a little excited, or is it still just all grass, depressing, still the long wait, I guess? And what setup are you running, Gabriel, for your skis? Again, this year I didn't really get onto much new ski-wise. I did take out the Line blades for a few runs, and they were pretty fun on the groomers. What else? Yeah, there wasn't a ton new. Some Mind Benders. Line Sick Day 104. Yeah, good choice. Yeah, the Mind Benders were great. I did get some line sick days in the range, but yeah, didn't really have much of a go on them. The shift on the sick day one for that is a pretty nice setup. So yeah, at least you can do a bit of everything on that. Touring, regular resort skiing, that's unreal. Yeah, the blades are fun. Blades are really cool. I'm actually excited for next year. They've got almost like a hybrid blade. I forget what they call it, but it was almost like a blade / twin tip rather than having that solid tail. So expanding that line of sort of all mountain carb free ski, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so that little preview I saw of them, I was pretty stoked on. So yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah, anyone else jump in? Don't just leave it all to Gabriel. Let us know what skis you're running, where you're at, what gear you've got, any questions on your boots. Yeah, I'd love to expand, chat with you guys, so don't be shy. Make sure you comment. And yeah, news, ski industry news. I don't know. There's not too much going on just yet. Already talked a week ago about Full Tilt, now merging into K2. Don't have the full G up on that yet. We always see skis a year ahead of the States, but boots are always a year behind. So January is going to be the time when we see updates for that sort of stuff. Yeah. Have you guys been into your local ski shop lately? Hope at least you're supporting the local guys. A lot of people have had a tough run of it lately. Yeah, not well. Sometimes you have to buy off the internet, but I hope you're not using Amazon or something like that. At least buy. A lot of retailers at least caught up with their e-commerce, so you can probably support a smaller ski shop and buy your boots off them pretty quickly and easily. So I encourage that if you are going to buy online. I don't know why I'm going down that that path, but yeah. What else have I seen that's new and interesting? Dalbello actually has a new boot. That's one I have seen ahead of time. I think they're moving on from their DS series, and there's a new one that I'll probably do a quick presentation on. And yeah, a bit of a sneak peek at a new Dalbello boot. All right. No one else wants to jump in here? Well, I'll give it another 5 minutes. Throw things out at me, guys. It'll make it a bit more interesting to watch. Hard to just keep talking to myself. But yeah, here we are, Sunday, the 31st of October. You know, if anyone's interested in my country right now, but it's still pretty crappy. You try the Dalbellos in your local shop. What model did you go for, Gabriel? What did you try on your feet? The new model is called I think it's the Veloce, which is more the AX120. Yeah, cool. Did you end up buying them, or did you just try them on? Did you go for a different option, or you just sort of seeing what's out there right now? Yeah, the new one will be more of like a sort of high performance carve resort boot, just your downhill option. Felt very comfy, maybe too upright, sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it's a good option, the AX120. Kurt, thanks for the comment. What is that, a skier? Doesn't come through very well on the program I'm using. But good to see you, Kurt. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know where you're at. When with the Mindbender 130? Good choice. Yeah, nice. Really like that boot. Really good solid walk mode. Heat moldable. Yeah, K2 have been crushing it lately with their boots. Yeah, I think they've done a good job on that Mindbender, and that one will serve you well. Yeah, so shift, mindbender boots, and line sick days. That's a setup I'd be happy to run. That's pretty sweet. Still need a couple of punches. Have weird feet. Cool. And have you tested them yet, or you just sort of you've just bought them and you're going to see how they go? Let them try break in first, or you're going to have to do some stretching right away. Yeah, so back to got the Dalbello AX120 with a non-retail Intuition tool liner. That's a nice setup. You just dump the Dalbello liner out and prefer the Intuition. I generally find that Intuition to be a nice upgrade, nice step up. Are you doing a lot of touring with them, Chili Bin, or you just sort of is your everything boot? Let's bring them up. Let's bring up the AX120 and have a quick look into it, if I can remember how to do all this. Here is Dalbello, and let's try find their AX. I'm going to be free tour. Ooh. Lupo Pro, Lupo AX120. So we're looking at standard Velcro power strap, 100mm last, tech inserts, good walk mode, Cabrio design. But yeah, same again, like it is their lightweight liner in here, but I would probably do the same thing. Do you find the height of the tour liner from Intuition? Oh, there we are, I'm back. Are you finding the height of that liner tall enough for that boot? And have you had a chance to ski on them yet? How is it going with that? How is it going with the strap at the top there? You feel like there's enough power with it when you're skiing? Like, is it holding you secure enough? That's what I'm interested in. And yeah, very cool boot. And what do we got? I run shifts with BMT 122s and new mantras. Nice. That's a pretty good setup. Definitely powerful setup with the mantras. And you're skiing them fine with that boot, not finding it too light. And have you ever worked with zip fit liners? Yes, I have worked with zip fit liners quite a lot. It will depend on the model and your boot as to whether they actually will work nice. But yeah, very easy to manipulate. If you needed to add cork material into them, you can. So yeah, there's good benefit for customization, and they lock you in pretty good. So yeah, zip fits are a really nice option. I definitely don't think they should be a replacement for every boot in the world. Definitely, you know, it's going to be very dependent, and you really want to, if you get a chance to try your zip fits in there first and make sure it's going to be compatible, because I've seen some disasters with them and they just get caught up, and you've got to be able to handle if you want the lacing in there with the extra strap on the liner too. Sometimes it turns into a bit of a mess, especially with the boots overlap and getting everything closed again. So great liner. There is a few models. You've just got to make sure it works with your setup. Virtual circle, is it worth replacing power straps? It can be sometimes, not all the time, but I'd say, yeah, a lot of the time it can definitely be worth it. It all depends on what you're trying to achieve. The power straps that I have are a double power strap with the true straps, and that's all about getting that lower leg locked in as tight as you can, removing all the voids, and yeah, you just feel more response out of your boots and a better fit. But if the power strap's working for you right now, and you don't have to change it, but yeah, see how you go with that one. I would recommend it, and yeah, often it's nice to upgrade. Do you have to heat up the cork when I insert into it? Yes, you do. So you'd want to probably just heat it up in an oven just to warm it. And then there is like an injection tool, which is almost like a long round punch with a handle, and that's what you're sort of injecting it in with. So it comes in a tube, the extra cork material. I'm a numpty on skis, but seem to survive on tours or in resorts. Nice, man. Don't talk yourself down. If you're skiing around on BMTs and mantras, I'm sure you're doing just fine. Right, okay, thanks. I'll test it first. What boot have you got, Virtual Circle? Maybe I could help out with a bit more info. Not all boots are going to be easy to replace the power strap on. Sometimes you got to fully drill off. If it's fixed rivets, you're going to have to put in a bit of effort to get the old one off. And also the position and height is going to play a part too of whether it's worthwhile you going down the path of a different power strap, whether that be a booster, an atomic dual strap, or my true straps. All of them are possible to replace, or even Sadas make one too, Intuition make one. But yeah, so it's going to depend on what you're looking to achieve. Yeah, the overlap on my zip fits is a pretty tight fit. I'm interested to see if I heat mold the liner, if it'll reform to the liner just a bit smoother. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, you probably can achieve a better result if it's all getting caught up in there. Yeah, if it's going to be dependent pretty much on how bunched up you're getting. And I'd almost, if you're remolding them, you probably could contain them a little bit better by actually, like if it's all just where the overlap is, maybe tape them up or get something over the top of where the tongue sits to sort of give it a buffer and help it be even as you're molding. Could be a nice little tactic to help it stay in place and form a little bit better. Dalbello Loop HD, help me pick it a couple of weeks back. I haven't skied them. Yeah, okay, no worries. Just go ski them first. Don't overdo it. Yeah, it's Josh, right? Yeah, awesome. That boot's pretty sick. Hope it goes well. Yeah, and I can't wait to hear what you think of the boot once you've skied it. Don't worry too much about replacing it yet. Just go see how they go, how they treat you, and yeah, they should be pretty solid. All right, we're up to 6 people watching. Thank you. Check in, guys. I'd love to know where you guys are at. What's going on with your local resort, local mountains? Are you planning to ski a lot of backcountry this year? Are you just going to, are you park skiers? What are you doing? Just to get a bit of interest. And what is news in your area? I know different countries are sort of got different things going on. Does it look like everything's going to be open for you guys? Or restrictions starting again? First frost hit today. That's a good sign. Getting cold. Vax Pass here. Apparently you can still take the lift backcountry as backup. So you can take the lift without the Vax Pass. Seems a bit ridiculous when you're outdoors. You need a fucking Vax Pass. But anyway, I'll try not to speak too much on that subject. Who knows if they'll kick the live stream off. Brisbane, unfortunately. Okay, yeah. Is that Craig? Is that Chili Bin? Awesome, man. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're traveling. I don't know. Are you trying to get overseas? Yeah, man, I hope something opens. And yeah, you couldn't probably even get down to our resorts this year with border lockdown in Queensland. And yeah, actually, my brother had a wedding planned up in Brisbane. And since the border was closed, there was no getting up there for that. So that's all been postponed. So, yeah, life getting cancelled lately. Alex working at Loveland ski area. Nice. So you guys are probably running right now. You guys are sort of up and going, possibly, or at least you got snow on the ground. Yeah, it only applies indoors. So you can't use the bathroom. Oh, you can always, there's plenty of trees on the mountain, dig a hole. Yeah, it's friggin' nonsense. And the whole idea of it's redundant. So, yeah, anyway. How is Loveland looking right now? Let's get off Dalbello and go Loveland. Come on, I can't even type. Do we get any snow cams? It's probably late in the day. Season, October 30. There you go, opened today. Nice. Unreal. Well, it's looking pretty white, which is a good sign. How was day one for you, Alex? Did you work? Avalanche shovel to dig a hole. Absolutely right. Do you guys get Avies in Oz? Yes, we do. Not a lot. Our snowpack is usually pretty stable. It comes in pretty wet and heavy and consolidates really quick. So you're not getting the sort of layers. But yeah, when it goes, it can go hard and it's pure concrete. So yeah, if you're on a steep enough pitch, you can get some small stuff around resorts in some side areas, which I've seen. But yeah, plenty of people have died in Avies here in Oz, even though you don't hear about it much. There has been a few people who have been caught and crushed. So you can't get too complacent, even though it is usually very, very safe here. Only a few sort of areas in our main range that are probably at too much of a risk of sliding. There's an area called Blue Lake, which does go. It builds up a big cornice and there's some steep rocky areas. You wouldn't want to get caught up in there. And then all the western faces that are steeper pitches could also slide too. And yeah, it does happen. Actually, we saw a few slides as it was warming up on my last outing, but it wasn't major. 1 mile right now. Well, that's better than 0 miles. So yeah, might as well enjoy what you can. Go slide on that. Rip some groomers. It was a ghost town for opening day. I checked in. Yeah, right. Fair enough. Did you do any work? What are you doing there, Alex? Are you in a shop? Are you out on the mountain? What's your role? I still haven't skied Loveland. I'd like to. I've driven past. So yeah, it should be on my agenda. Man, Avies are so scary. You got to learn from some locals how to backcountry. Definitely highly recommended. Yeah. Shouldn't really go into the backcountry without, especially where you are, really knowing and reading what's going on, or be with people who do. Because, yeah, a lot of people lose their lives, unfortunately, which sucks, and it's not what we want to see. And, yeah, the more you can learn, the better. I still have a lot to learn. I don't think you can know enough. I'm no big backcountry expert. I go with people who really know what they're doing. I should get onto a lot more courses. Level 1 cert for instructing, nice. So yeah, let's hope things start booming for you, Alex. Are you going to be stuck with the kids, or are you going to be skiing with more of the beginners? Yeah, definitely get buried in a lot of snow, and yeah, it's never good news. They say that it's not being buried that's the part that gets you. It's actually the asphyxiation. It's just from the load of all the snow crushing you, not being able to breathe. And yeah. Man, oh, that's good. 15 years and older is probably perfect. Better than chasing around kids screaming, wanting to go in and watch videos. Just feeding them lunch all day. Get the hot chocolates. Yeah, but yeah, taking teen skiing would probably be a blast. I reckon that'd be fun as. And yeah, even adults learning could be a lot better as long as you're not stuck on a magic carpet all day. That can be pretty brutal. You guys closed for the season? Yeah, we are all done. So our season ended October. No, it didn't even last till October this year. We usually close on October long weekend. But yeah, September we got locked down again, and it wasn't worth the resorts opening back up. So yeah, it was a funny old season here. We started in June, and it was as busy as I've ever seen it. People were so stoked to go skiing again, and we had good early snow. It was loaded up, and then yeah, Sydney went on lockdown late June, early July, and then progressively things just got worse and worse and worse. And every week they'd shut down a different area of the country. So people who were here had to leave and go home. People who had booked all had to cancel. And then, yeah, people who had planned to come wasn't happening. Borders closed. And then every sort of area would slowly less and less people showing up until it just got completely pulverized. Resort did shut completely and then open back up again and then shut again. And yeah, that also happened down across the border in Victoria. I think they went 4 or 5 times of just open, close, open, close. It was absolutely insane. So yeah, a miserable one, terrible one for the town, terrible one for business, terrible for the resort. But if June was any gauge to go by, next year will be insane. The demand is high. A lot of people want to be here. But yeah, it's also changed the dynamics of the town. A lot of people just bailed on Sydney, don't want to live there anymore. So real estate here has just shot up through the moon, probably, which is similar to a lot of resort towns in other countries. And it's just absolutely mental. That's going to be hard going forward for people wanting to work in the snow industry, for people wanting to work for the mountain or in town, or, you know, there's just not going to be accommodation. There's going to be nowhere to live. It's going to be super expensive. So it's a bit of a disaster. It's an absolute cluster, to be honest. But yeah, so it's got me thinking, and it's not just business as usual for me. And I've got to make some big choices going into next year. I've got to actually account for if things just lock down again. Yeah, could be the end of everything, but yeah, I've got to maybe have a plan B, C, and D. So I'm definitely thinking about a few ways to mitigate it and not be living on the street. So yeah. Sorry, I've missed a few comments. 15-year-olds skiing on TikTok all day. So they probably just got their phone out and yeah, filming each other. Probably not doing a lot of skiing, which is not what you want to see. Last year they threw infants at me and I was like, hell no. Nice. Yeah, some things aren't worth the money if you're a daycare center. When this crap ends, people will flood back in. Real estate has shot up worldwide. Yeah, and I don't know, the real estate talk, but it's like, I guess some of that's, yeah, people just changing their life. A lot of it's probably just, I don't know, we talk finance talk on here. A lot of it's probably just what they're doing, printing money to the moon, devaluing the currency. I think that all ends really badly, but it's making some people on paper really rich and being able to buy things and change demographics, really alter. I'm worried about the future of this town. Actually, it's always been such a cool little resort town. It was always building, and it is like it's going forward. There's nothing you can do about it, but it's sort of, I don't know how much of the vibe will change, and what it means for this town. But yeah, we'll see. I'll see if I can push certain things in the right direction. Anyway, must have been hard on your bank account. It was absolute devastation in that regard. I've got a big hole to dig out of. Tons of people left here too. This won't last much longer. No way we'll still be dealing with this by then. I hope not. Yeah, man, I hope things are just bloody. I'm off it. I'm so sick of it. So much that's just not logical, but people want it. Some people they're all about it. They want it. We'll see. If I were to look into resorts to work out there, what are your top 3 to look into? I'm interested to take a season out there training and working in the future. Well, there's not that many to even choose from, to be honest. Here, there's 2 main ones where I am. There is Perisher, which is the biggest. There's sort of, you're looking at, you definitely get a job instantly. But it's sort of, was it 4 different resort areas all linked up? All used to be individual ski resorts, and now it's just one big one. That's where the most sort of biggest, most famous terrain park is. And it's definitely where most people ski. It's part of Vale, so it's on the Epic. And then Thredbo is the other one locally here. Both are about half an hour away from me. And then Thredbo's on the Icon. Thredbo's a real skier's mountain. When it's good at Thredbo, it is unreal. It's steeper, longer runs. If you know where you're going, there's some unreal zones. It's not as busy. But yeah, generally a bit more exclusive. They don't sell. They've stopped selling. They've got a limit on their season passes. They don't have as many day tickets anymore. So they're going the opposite route from volume, and they're just trying to get just the amount of people that they want on the mountain for the day. And yeah, the economics must work for them. I think that's actually pretty cool. So, you're not standing in lines all day. But yeah, when Thredbo is on, it's sick. So yeah, I do love Thredbo. So that's the 2. And yeah, love them. Down in Victoria, you've got a few more. Actually, there's another small resort here called Selwyn Snowfields, which is probably an hour and a half away from me here. It's not open. It burned down in the last bushfires, but there was plans for them to reopen and build back bigger than ever, and really get that resort going again. But it's a more beginner, day tripper, probably cruisier resort that's out of the way. Victoria's got a few more to choose from. You got Falls Creek, you got Hotham, you got Mount Buller, and that's sort of the Melbourne ski scene. Goes out to them. And yeah, then you could also check out New Zealand, which has got a lot of options. I love New Zealand. But Oz is cool. You'd get work here. Training, there's some good instructors. There's some great courses. You've definitely got ability to progress. And yeah, there's actually a really good scene as far as the instructing side of things is concerned, and the ski training side of things. So yeah, good facilities, and some good resorts to keep the year-round skiing alive. If that's going to work for you, that could be cool. Internet slob votes for Hotham. Nice. I haven't actually been down there since I was a kid, so I can't rate it as well as I possibly would like to. But yeah, I've got to ski down more in Victoria. Hotham, I hear, has great terrain, a lot of natural features, good playful fun, and you're sort of a good pitch. What kind of vertical? Good question. Stats. I don't know that off by heart, so let's look it up. So we are looking at I wonder if anyone just tells me off the Google. You're going at 1165 feet of vert at Perisher. And then you have 2,000 to 1,300 at Threadbow. So we're looking at 1,679 meters, 5,500 meters of vert for elevation, 1,398 at Threadbow. So I'm surprised at that, actually. Like, Threadbow feels like there's more. Yeah. Sorry about that. Having to Google it. I should know that sort of stat off by, but I don't even, things like that don't go in my brain. Like, I don't remember things like that. I don't memorize things like names of ski runs. I don't memorize like all of that. I'm just like, I think I know zones, I know areas. When it comes to knowing smaller details like that, it's in one ear, out the other, or I read it and go, oh yeah, okay, whatever. I'm too busy worried about other things to focus in on that. Just give her, yeah. Nice. Have you ever heard of the Stokely scale lineup? No. Stokely. No, there is a Stokely shop in town. Actually, I don't know if he packed up this year and put an end to it, or if someone bought him out. The only Stokelys I've really seen is the ones I've had in here that I'm tuning, the Storm Riders, and then a couple of other models. I don't know a lot about them. I don't really delve into the Stokely much. So I'm not a good guy for advice on Stokely, but good skis, good quality. And you might have to read up a bit more on them. That's not bad. I thought it'd be way lower. No, it's actually respectable. That's what's funny. Like, I don't know. Australia is underrated for its skiing, and like, it is and it isn't. So like, but people have shown around here from Canada and the States have actually been super impressed and surprised at what we actually have here. So a hidden gem, I think, and it's way better than what you consider. Especially you can even still get a cheeky power day and have some good skiing. Yeah, all right. And not a single person. Okay, no, definitely. No, that's not true. So far, we've got someone from Loveland, Brisbane, and where else? And BC, Nelson. I scored an old pair, brand new, 80% off. Nice. They're an old model from 2015. Discontinued. Wish it wasn't, though. Well, that is an absolute bargain. I don't think you can go wrong as far as getting a ski 80% off. Even if it is 2015, look, they've probably changed some materials since then, maybe lightened them up, but they're probably still using the same press to build them. But awesome deal. Yeah, it seems worth the trip. I always associate Oz with being hot and flat. Yeah, Australia's mostly about beaches, and it's hot as hell for 80% of it. But yeah, just a couple of little mountainous zones and a little bit nicer areas. There's even some skiing down in Tasmania, which you can probably ski for about a week a year when the snow sticks. But they do get some. They do get consistent snow. It just doesn't stick around very long. So yeah, Tassie's probably not the biggest destination to go. Nelson, BC, my favorite place on earth. Yeah, Nelson's awesome. I really liked it there. I was there years back. One of the best memories is they've got a really cool hot springs. I can't remember the name of it. About half an hour out of town. And it had sort of like your hot springs and then the cold plunge pool. And you're outdoors and it was like a sort of cave. I think it was all like a fake cave. But yeah, it was really sick. And yeah, after skiing, love going to all those hot springs. Whitewater cams show snow on the peak. Yeah, I looked at Whistler's cams the other day, and it's looking like good snow up high, but still nothing in town. Ainsworth, I'm not sure if it was Ainsworth. Maybe. Bloody cool place though. And yeah. So what? Oh yeah, Canada. What gets going early there? Yeah, unless Whistler's having an early start, you really only get Lake Louise starting up early. And it's usually nothing to write home about until sort of late November, early December. So still a couple of weeks wait there. Once a boot fitter told me I don't need a custom insole because of how my foot is. You ever do that? Yes, sometimes. I'd say for 98% of people, an insole is beneficial. It's actually better than having nothing. Some people have the argument that running with nothing is better for their feet, and I completely disagree with that. As for the type of foot not needing one, that doesn't make much sense to me. Most boot fitters do take the other stance where everyone should be on a full custom, and I don't agree with that either. I'd say the vast majority don't need to be on a full custom. There's only certain instances where you've got to do something tricky, or you've really got to push the stance, or if the foot's highly mobile, or there's something very irregular, that's when you need to go full custom. And so, yeah, the thing about full custom is every boot fitter loves to make them, and every boot fitter likes to think they make the best footbeds in the world. And it's also a really big upsell on the boot. So not only do you get the boot, you get a couple $100 for making the footbed too. So it increases the margin when you're selling a boot, when you're custom fitting. And it also shows that you care. So it also shows when you're making a footbed for someone, when you're fitting their boots, you're also, you're also showing them, okay, we're fixing things here, we're setting you up properly, we're giving you this foundation, your foot's going to be secure, which only helps with stance alignment, balance, support, how comfortable the boot is, helps with blood flow, arch support, the whole thing. So yeah, it's very in depth. But yeah, as far as like the full custom, not required. As far as having one, I'd highly recommend having one rather than not having one, because it's much more beneficial for most people. And I think unless it's a footbed that's too hard, or it doesn't suit your arch height, or if it's just not right, then that's when people get sort of bitter on footbeds, and when the experience doesn't go great. But I think it's just usually the case of a full mismatch of foot to footbed that causes that. And it's usually people buying insoles that are too hard, bad materials, or if someone makes one and doesn't do a good mold, it can be a nightmare. Okay. Just moved from Alberta. Where were you in Alberta? The old stomping grounds there. Japan for the win. I've heard Japan is great. It's insane, deep, and cheap, that's for sure. Except for food. Beer is cheap. Skiing is sick. Skiing is cheap. Really good lift ticket prices. Yeah. Not sure if that does open up, maybe Japan will be the sneaky trip for me, because it's pretty quick and easy to get there from where I am. But again, I might not be allowed to go there, so I don't know. For center-mounted skis, would you still want a good amount of forward lean? Yes, I would say so. I always a good amount of forward lean because I like the aggressive stance, and I run a lot of skis with a center mount. Are you skiing park? What boot is it? How does your balance feel? Do you like that forward lean? Do you have adjustment? All things you can play with. Yeah, I would say yes. Japan is good, but the terrain in North America kills it. Agreed. Canmore is an awesome place. Love Canmore. So yeah, I was living for a while. I lived at Lake Lake Louise, Lake Lousy, lived in Nakiska, lived in Calgary, downtown, lived in Scenic Acres, so the northwest. Would ski a lot of Sunshine, would ski a lot of Lake Louise, would ski a lot of Kicking Horse, Castle. Yeah, had a good few years over there, and yeah, it's a good base, Canmore. You know, you're quickly out to Banff, and it's pretty scenic on itself. Awesome mountains surrounding, and yeah, pretty decently, and you're out of the city, which is good. Right, we're up to an hour already. I feel like we only just got going. Probably was a slow start. Yeah, how do you rate Banff area for skiing? Sunshine, awesome, love it. I'd rate that as, I don't know, 8 out of 10. Yeah, really good. Sunshine's just got a bit of everything. And spent many. It's like, yeah, you get up there and just on top of everything, and good, pretty decent park, and always has been for the years. But yeah, I'd usually go there and just rip moguls, occasionally do the dive, which is pretty sweet when there's good snow in Delirium Dive. That's pretty cool terrain. And yeah, Norquay. Haven't skied maybe 2 days at Norquay, I think, all up. Pretty cool, but small. Nice little area, but it's right there in Banff. You know, quick, easy one to sneak up if you're working in town for the day and just want to get a couple of hours, a couple of runs in. That's pretty nice. Banff in general is just so nice. Such a beautiful area. Heap of wildlife. Again, the mountains around there are just next level. It's like a postcard. And I do miss it. I can't wait to get back there. Okay. Well, any more questions for me? Throw them out. I can keep going for a while if you'd like me to stay on. Otherwise, yeah, we can also wrap this up. Yeah, it's like a postcard. The photos I got are incredible. But not that BC's anything to sneeze at, man. Like, it's pretty nice through, you know, when you drive over the Rogers Pass and then into all that Kootenays, all that area is, it's just unreal. I love just driving the roads there. Like, I wish I did like a rail journey, actually. That would be actually pretty cool, to do the Vancouver through to Calgary and, yeah, get through the mountains on the rail. Good call. I love Sunshine and always make sure I get a couple of days there. Louise is underrated. Definitely fun if you know your way around. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Louise, back bowls are pretty awesome. And yeah, it's all about zones at Louise. It can be all time, but it can also be pretty sharky. Yeah, it's that sort of place, but it's cool. Give us a bit. All right, I'll stick around for a while, but yeah, keep throwing out of me so I can keep talking. So I've got things to chat about. More notice for next stream. No worries. I kind of didn't want to post too early because, like, I feel like it just sits there. I don't know. If it's like a post up on YouTube and it's like live in a couple of days, then yeah, I don't know. What's better for you guys? Do you want to plan something? I really feel like the way I started was pretty bad, so I need to come up with a better presentation to really present a few ideas or throw a few things out at you and share screen and you know, as might be a bit more interesting rather than just trying to talk to myself because it's not interesting content to watch, I guess. Yeah, it is. The whole area looks like Lord of the Rings, that's for sure. You know, why don't we go here and let's even check out. What should we look at? Was it Trans-Canada Rail through winter? Do we get any? Oh, look at that typing. Nice. And that is not bringing up anything I wanted. We'll scrap that idea. All right. I have the entire winter off to ski. That is perfect. Why work when you can ski? Yeah, that's absolutely awesome. Super jealous of that. Count us down. More notice next string. Count us down. Do you mean like by the hour or by the day? How much notice should I give when I'm going to do my next live stream? And do you want to see something weekly, monthly? At this stage, I plan to do a couple of videos a week, and I'll probably do one live stream a month. That way, I'll either present and have a theme, like we can have an idea that we cover, and delve into certain things. 30 days, no, fair enough. All right, consider it 30 days from today. I'll finish every month with a live stream, and we can cover the events of that month. We can look at certain ski gear. We can just chat in general. You can save up some questions. So that'll be cool. And I'll do that. I'll plan it. I'll have one ready ahead of time. And yeah, this time of day works for me. So let me know if it's also good for you guys. Top picks for powder skis. Oh, well, it depends just how wide you want to go for powder skis. I like sort of sticking in that 110, 120 range. I used to have a pair of Hellbents, which are 132. But yeah, I really liked my Atomic Benchettlers. And there's some nice, there's too many options really. But yeah, you start getting into real free ridey versus real sort of fast powder skis, I guess. And it depends on what you're after. What did you say you were skiing on currently? Yeah, anything in that sort of realm from a good sort of free ski oriented company is going to be pretty fun. Anything sort of a 120 waist from like K2 line, Faction, a few could be a really nice option. What resorts do you rate in Japan? From my last trip I took there, the two I have to rate the highest are Furano and Kororo. They were just unbelievable. So good. And then down on in the main island, Hakuba and Cortina for sure. Absolutely the most epic power days I've had in my life have been at those resorts. And yeah, really found some nice terrain on that last trip. Had a good crew. So yeah, there's some zones I've got to go back and ski. And knowing those areas ahead of time, now you don't waste a lap. And also the navigation for sort of that slack country stuff as well, knowing how to get back to the lifts. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to be able to get amongst that again. Yeah. And then it's going to be interesting to see, like, Japan might be different. Like, you look at what, Niseko was just, you might as well have been in downtown Sydney. It's getting so built up and commercialized. And people, and like Hakuba is the same. People were going there from Australia. Like, people were going for their first ski trip. Like, oh, I've never skied before. Let's go to Japan. And they take their family. So, like, you're looking at having so many people at this, big mega resort. And yeah, so it's interesting that it was such a destination for true skiers, people wanting powder. And then it was turning into, the place to be because it's cheaper to ski in Japan than Australia. And so now it's going to be interesting after lockdowns. I think all of those people, they will not be going. They're pulling the pin. They're going on summer holidays now, I think. So that's going to have probably a big impact on the industry over there, the local economies there, and also, everyone's operation. So it'd be interesting to see how that bounces back. I'm actually keeping a close eye on that. Again, and that's just because we'll see, a lot of North Americans and a lot of Europeans were starting to go there too. but yeah, whether people will return in the numbers that was there previously is going to be quite interesting, because the snow ain't stopping though. So anyone who's really keen will go back. A day or so and then post weekly. So you want that many live streams, or you're just looking for that many videos? I really want to be helpful with the content I'm creating lately, and make a difference for people. Being able to sort of get that information across that's going to actually get people to make some changes and, have a better experience with their gear is what I'm all about. So, always planning, always thinking, always wondering what I can share next. And yeah, any feedback, I love to hear it, and quite open to creating more stuff. And yeah, I actually enjoy these live streams. So hell, I'll jump on and do a live stream. We've just got to get some of the momentum going on it. But I will do my best. I'll definitely do a monthly one. And yeah, if it works and if people want to show up, I'll do a weekly one throughout winter. That could be pretty fun. We can complain about the lockdowns, yeah. Good here, it's 9 p.m, so that's perfect time. I want to go like Queen Fat Bottom Girls White. Got Armada, Tracer, yeah, I didn't even think about Armada. They've always made awesome powder skis. The last Armada I skied on, I was blown away. Just how agile they were, how playful and fun they were. And Armada in Australia is only sort of sold out of one store. And yeah, I can't buy them wholesale. And yeah, so otherwise I would have bought a set of them. But yeah, so it's only sold at another store, so I'm not getting on Armadas. 185s, yeah, good length, especially for a power ski. It's going to have enough to it that you can sort of stomp everything and also let them run and also slash turn the hell out of them. Mounted 7 centimeters ahead, almost center. Yeah, not a bad thing. Like, it's all about finding the balance of what you like, how you want that ski to feel for you. And if you're skiing switch, or if you're doing, all depends on your purpose. I often like having a ski more towards the center, just even for regular skiing, just for slash turns, and they just feel better to me. Craig, you need to get to Tohoku. Anywhere is just insane. Yeah, I've heard about it. I've definitely read about it and researched it. It's all about having enough time. I'd love to get to Tohoku. Thanks. That'll be on my list. The live streams are great to be able to ask questions and get direct feedback. Awesome. Looking forward to getting them on the snow. I got some old Sham 107 that I love. Nice. And that's the Dynastar ski, the Sham. Good waist width, 107. Good directional. I'm out of my mind, but I'll be right back. Okay. In quotes too. What does that mean? Is that a song lyric? I'm missing something there. But yeah. All right, what next? What should we move on to? Talking a bit about skis. I'm wondering what ski, after all these messages. Yep. Yeah, I'm wondering what ski to get next. Probably due next year. I want to get a new park and power ski. So yeah, I'm not too stoked. I usually ride, was that even a word? I'm not too stoked. I usually ride K2 for my park skis, and I've been on the poachers for a few years. But yeah, I don't like next year's graphic. So why not change it up? I want to see what else. But I like that sort of 90, 95 waist width for an everyday park ski. And yeah, then probably 105 to 110 is going to be my sort of bigger mountain option. You were saying those Intuition liners are a good option if you're getting pressure from the seams of your originals. Yes, agreed, 100%. very easily moldable, gets rid of a lot of the junk in other liners, and can be a game changer for pressure points. But again, you've also got to give some liners a little bit of time. You've got to let them sort of bed in. You've got to give them a heat mold. You know, stock liners improve a lot. I find the intuitions are just like, if you just need to solve a problem, it can do it pretty quickly, to be honest. So yeah, that's a nice upgrade. But sometimes you can manipulate your stock liners, or you can get them to settle in quite nicely. Fisher Ranger 104 FR are pretty sweet. I would agree with that. Yeah, Fisher's skis are, well, underrated in Australia. They don't get as much distribution as sort of North America. I just guess there's so many options for such a small market. But yeah, everyone who I've known who skis with the Fishers and that Ranger is really stoked on them. Yeah, I used to ride a Fisher ski back in the day. Can't think of the name of it, but it was like, had a second metal laminate underfoot, and they were just absolutely bomb-proof. And I trashed all my gear. And I've got to say, the Fishers were probably some of the most solid skis I've owned. I was really psyched on them. But yeah, even finding a pair around here is near impossible. Can you buy used boots and just get new liners then, or does the plastic break down? It does over time, so it's going to depend on the age of the boot. You most definitely can do that if you're short on cash and you want to save some bucks. Buying a boot and just putting in an aftermarket liner, you could probably achieve that. You know, you could get a good boot, put an aftermarket liner in for a couple $100 versus well, if we're talking Australian dollars, but for not much money at all compared to buying a new boot. And that can be a great way to go, especially if you need a couple of boot options. Main thing is going to be make sure your toes and heels are good. So you're going to, get life out of them. You're going to be releasing bindings properly. And also, don't go too old of a boot because plastic will get brittle. But we're talking sort of 10, 15 years. If they're that old, I'd start thinking sort of junk, and sort of plastic, not as great as once was. But yeah, if you look, you'd be amazed. I'm sure it happens everywhere, but people show up here in boots that are like 30, 40 years old, and you're just like, are you guys serious? You're going to go skiing those things? And then they just explode once they clip into their bindings, or as soon as they start walking in the car park, they just fall to pieces. So yeah, that does happen over time. You want to make sure that your gear is not that ancient because the plastic will just get brittle. But more modern stuff, it's not even a worry. If there's a set of boots you can find that are just a couple of seasons old, or a year or two, or you find them at a swap meet, put your own liners in. They're not, that's the thing that's getting worn out. That's what things is getting molded to someone else's foot. And you could actually, bring them back completely to life, as long as your buckles are good and all that sort of things to think about. So why not? But yeah, sometimes also, you get some eBay deals or something like that, or Goodwill, but also sometimes it's just not worth it. You're better off putting your money into a new boot and making them work for you. Got a pair of 191 for ripping bowls. Nice. Yeah, to ski fast. I have some Dynastar Legend X 96 as well. Be a nice all-mountain ski. I had in the lineup, I think last year, the M Free Ski. I got them in new for this season, which is the 90 waist model. That was one of the premium skis I had on offer in demo. And awesome feedback on them. I think the wider ones would be great, but for Australia, it's when people come in looking to hire a ski and you try to push them into something wider than 90 mil, they think they're on a fat powder ski, which is crazy. But it just is what it is. All mountain skis are generally a bit narrower here, just because of the firmness of our snow most days, and most people are just ripping groomers. So you're not getting a lot of softer stuff, and even getting off-piste, you don't want as much ski to throw around. Do they set up mountains for downhill mountain biking there in the summer season? They only do at Thredbo. So Thredbo is the mountain bike destination here. The other resort that I was speaking about, Perisher, they don't. Um, and Threadbow's done it for years. I'm not sure what the restriction is on Perisher. I think it's because they just sort of, it's in the national park, so they've got a lot to do with it. There's probably, before you can develop trails up there, a lot of environmental studies to do, a lot of money you'd need to throw at it, a lot of, you know, maybe a bit in the too hard basket. So they've never really done the mountain biking there, even though there is a lot of terrain. But Threadbow's sick and they are expanding like mad. And mountain bike will probably overtake skiing for them either this year or within the next couple of years. Kind of like what I hear has happened at Whistler. Because, yeah, that's the sport to be in right now. It's booming. And that's the whole town. The whole town here really probably's opportunity for the future is in that summer sports. There's a lot of mountain bike trails. There's a new mountain bike park opening up locally. Yeah, so onwards and upwards for that side of things. I personally don't focus on that. We are going to be, well, we have been for the last few years, more focused on hiking and trail running in this shop over summer. 40-year-old boots and jeans. There's always those kooks or just the local ski bum that's been there forever that still rocks that. We're looking for a Jerry and jeans, and yes, my name is Jerry. Nice. Can't beat that. I'm a girthy fella, 255 pounds, and a novice skier. So should I get a stiffer boot? Yeah, I'd say so. You'd at least want to be, what's 255 pounds to kilos? Sorry, I used to have that pretty quick in my head, but these days, not so much. 115 here. Yeah, so you'll easily flex a boot. I don't think you need to go 130s if you're a novice. You want to stay in that 110, 120 range, 120 at most. I think you find the difference between them anyway is mainly going to be like liner materials, which doesn't matter as much. Like the higher performance is definitely getting a bit, it's adding a lot of cost. It's getting more response from the boot, but since you're wanting more forgiveness, 100, 110 will probably do quite well for you. And then just make sure the fit is going to be good. But because of your weight, don't go into an 80 or 90 flex boot because you'll crush it, you'll out ski it. It won't give you the feedback you need out of your boots. So don't go any lower than a 100 flex option, in my personal opinion. Yeah, no worries, Roger. Good luck with finding a boot. Have you been hiring up to this point, or what have you been using in the past? Yeah, mountain biking is huge here. It gives the resorts and shops a whole new market. Yeah, well, that's great to hear. It's definitely, yeah, I try to think back to my time in Canada, and like it was a thing, but it wasn't what is now. It was sort of only in those early stages developing, and not all resorts were doing mountain biking at all. So yeah, good to see, and it gives mountain towns year round, income and things to do. So yeah, it's great to see. I wore jeans my first time. Nice. Yeah, I don't think I've ever worn jeans skiing, but yeah, definitely. I don't know. Everyone goes through a phase of being a bit of a kook early on. Like, why not? Like, you know, had I started with boots too big and skis too short. It's sort of my early days. But yeah, you figure out what you like anyway, and who really cares? Using the ski shop, Dalbello 95s felt, yeah, 100%. And a rental 95, man, you're just going to crush it. Get into a stiffer boot. Yeah, and what ski are you on? It's probably a combination if they're feeling really squirrely. And you'll certainly notice the difference, and it'll actually be better for you learning and growing your technique, to actually have something that locks you in a bit more securely. And yeah, it requires you to put more energy through the boot. Don't you think that where you ski has to consider when buying new boots, hard pack or soft snow conditions? Yes, sort of, but don't we all ski? You know, you can't predict the weather, so don't we all sort of ski a bit of everything? But that's determined if you are like, I only like to ski on piste, firm snow, fast or technical, then yes, you're going to choose a boot that's built for that purpose. Whereas people who want to ski a bit of everything is usually going to, find something that's more of a hybrid or maybe, more geared to their style. So yeah, that determines when you're looking at boots, what sort of realm you'll go down, but that's only really whether you're sticking into that race high performance carve um, boot category, or if you're sort of delving into that more free ridey sort of option. But where as a location wise, no. Because even here, like, if you think like the East Coast or you think here in Oz or, somewhere that, you're not getting as many storms through. So snow generally consolidates and is a bit harder. And, you're skiing through a lot heavier chop, that sort of stuff. Nah, fit is key. I don't think that's as big a part, and you can get a bit of varied options. I ski more ice and compacted stuff on the East Coast. Yeah, cool. So, and it depends on where you're going to take your skiing, Roger. But yeah, I'd stick to the downhill models, wider lasts. if it's required, if you're a heavier guy, usually you'll have a wider foot. Usually, sort of is the case. And then bring your brother Chuck, and he can kick the ice into perfect snow, Roger. I don't even know what that means. Classic. Yeah, cool. So where are we at? Nearly an hour and a half. That is killer. That is really cool. So yeah, I'm at 1:26. 3 more minutes. I'm going to run this to an hour and a half. Thanks heaps for you guys for joining me. Yeah, I'm glad that people do actually want to tune in and hang out and have a chat. Other streams I was thinking of doing actually was we could do some watch-alongs. So like sort of like a watch party for any of the skiing events. So let me know if that's of interest for you, because I'd love to live stream as one of those events is on. So you could put that on the TV and we can hang out and chat while that's on. If you like to do that. So I was thinking like the Free Ride World Tour or perhaps the downhill racing, if that's what you guys are interested in. And we can sort of have a chat watching it or have a conversation to the side and just something else. So it's not just this talking head on screen. Maybe we can have 2 screens going and sort of, both be watching the same thing and have a bit of fun with that. So I thought that might be cool. Maybe do Free Ride World Tour watch party if you'd like to join me for that. Roger, I get it. Roger, Chuck Norris. Fair enough. Fernando, hi, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. You're joining us pretty late. Should I not check out of here? I'll stick around if you want me. I'll go to 2 hours if you guys want me to, as long as I can keep talking. If it's any form of entertainment, then yeah, I'll keep going. But yeah, good to see you, Fernando. Thank you for joining us. I find that softer but not too soft can help with forward ankle flex. Absolutely can. But yeah, when the boot's too noodly though, it's not going to help at all. But man, you're an instructor, so as you see, it's going to be determined by the person. Someone with just sort of regular lean weight, so to speak, in a boot that is soft will help. Because it's going to help with that ankle flexion. It's going to help with that steering. It's going to help push that technique. But a heavier guy that's crushing a boot is only going to be hindered. So they've got to get some response out of them. And that's all about the balance with flex. But yeah, as you say, when teaching people, generally novices want to be on the softer boot because it just helps grow and progress and figure out and find their edges. But yeah, you just got to dial that in correctly. Bill, clothing that I like as far as ski outerwear, yeah, quite a bit. I am a big fan of the North Face, simply because maybe I'm a bit biased. I know they're a great brand that I carry in my shop. Really cool guys that work for them here in Oz. Their tech is always, really progressive. Their quality's great. I've been through all sorts of wet storms in their gear. And yeah, just so comfortable and feature packed. I really like that. But yeah, I carry a few other brands in here. I carry O'Neill, Oakley, Spider. What else have we got? Salomon. Salomon's actually stopped their outerwear in Australia. So whether that's permanent or whether they'll come back with it later on, I think COVID scared them off, and they will re-release the lines. Salomon seems to be very focused on trail running in this country and maybe less and less in the ski side of the sports, which is interesting because, yeah, it's always has been skewed the other way. But yeah, when we start talking really technical, Patagonia is another one we carry, which make good stuff, but we have a lot of success with Patagonia in more of their accessories, their lifestyle clothing, their outdoor gear. Their ski wear, I find, doesn't move as much. It's very backcountry focused. Yeah, but it's good quality. And then you look at more technical stuff like Arc'teryx, or even, there's so many, almost too many. Helly Hansen, Pitcher. You got all the board brands. You got, yeah. And then there's even stuff like brands I used to sort of work with years back. You got your Carbon, you got your Juice, you got your, it's endless, but there's the ones that I like. And really you just got to dial in the features and style more than anything. I used to ski even in a few sort of snowboard brands outerwear, just because I used to care about looking cool. And these days it's more about technicality and how it feels for me, much rather than looking cool these days. Free ride would be cool. Awesome. Well, I'm going to do that. I know the Huckabah stop of the Free Ride World Tour, I think it got cancelled, but as soon as there's an event on, let's schedule it, and that would be cool. And we'll all jump on a live stream again, watch it. I'll try commentate it maybe. I'll put my own spin on things, and yeah, just try have a good time. Would you talk about 4 buckle boots flex compared with Cabrio? I heard a lot about progressive flex. Yes, 2 different styles of boot, 2 different ways they flex. I feel that's a topic. I don't know. Maybe I've covered that a few times. With a Cabrio design, you're really reliant a lot more on the rebound of the tongue, flexing forward on that front tongue. And then in a overlap design, lately, it's less more about, the spine on the back is what drives power down, but flex is really coming from the bulging of the boot, and it's the cuff interacting with the lower shell. And it's where this boot is flexing forward, it's bulging the lower, it's deforming the lower shell, and it's springing back. So the boot is like an active part of the flex. It's not just stiffness of plastic. It's also how it's responding as it bounces up and down, and that is coming from actual not only how stiff it is, but the shell deformation that's occurring and giving it sort of like a lively feel and flex. When you're looking at the Cabrio design, again, it's those front tongues which determine stiffness, and also the rebound that you're getting out of them. Also, density and thickness of plastics around the back. The cuff does play a big part in it as well. But usually you're dealing with cable buckles across the front of the tongue, which is that very directional rebound, so to speak. So hopefully that helps a little bit explaining it. I probably would be better off with 2 examples and showing that directly. Thanks for your advice responses in the other vids. Be well. Thanks, Roger. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. do the World Cup. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up. I know I just missed a World Cup. Maybe we'll do all. Let's just do all live streamed ski events. I'm going to have to look up the schedules for that and see if that will work timing wise. It's going to be hard for me to get up at 3 in the morning and do a live stream, but maybe I will. But yeah, cool. Let's line that up, and I'll post about it so you'll know ahead of time. Vintage spider gear is amazing. Yeah, cool. Don't need vintage stuff of it, but all the modern stuff that I sell gets good feedback. People love it. And yeah, there's definitely a demographic that's really behind the spider. So I cannot justify not having it in my shop. Do you need a shell and layers for backcountry or a single jacket with vents work? I much prefer a shell and layering, simply because I run really hot. And layering really lets me dial that in perfectly. You do have to carry a little bit more. I guess venting an insulated jacket, I mean, it's handy because you keep it on, but you generally will tend to sweat a lot more. So for temperature regulation, it's probably not as good as layering well with a shell, especially as you sort of are in the warmer sort of times where you're starting out on a cold morning, you start hiking, you start sweating, temperature raises through the day. So then you want to be able to have that ability to chop and change. So I think a good either puffer or merino mid layer is probably one of the best things that you can carry and still pack into your bag, and then just run your shell when you're skinning. I feel is generally a pretty good way to do it. For dressing for backcountry skiing. Steve S, thanks for tuning in, mate. Cheers from the East Coast USA. Hope as well over there with you guys and idiotic lockdowns we're having. I'd like to say it is well, but it's not. It's complete bullshit. It's pretty bad over here, man. It's pretty bad down in Melbourne. Worse than here. But yeah, same as a lot of countries. There's all this vax passport and things going on, and yeah, lockdown hasn't quite lifted. No one can come to town here yet out of Sydney. It's about to change, so we'll see what's going to happen. But I sort of feel like maybe it's gone on so long that people are just like they're burnt out, or they're just like can't even fathom now. Like, why would I go anywhere? Like, if things shut down when I'm there, or like, or people have booked accommodation, have had it cancelled and trips, and it's been such a mess that, like, yeah, I've been looking at footage of Melbourne City and they're out of lockdown. They're calling it Freedom Day, and there's like no one on the streets. It's still might as well be fully locked down. So how we recover from that, I don't know. And yeah, for the country, it's pretty sad. Like, I always thought Australia, Australia's a great country, and I'm patriot footbeds, for Christ's sake. I'm a pretty patriotic guy. Like, there's the theme of not only it's about your self-improvement, your own, taking things on yourself, having your own independent thought, and really taking ownership. But yeah, on a broader scale too, it was like, yeah, I was always really proud of this country and, what we bring to the ski world. But yeah, my opinion has changed a lot in the last year. And what we've just been through is horrendous. And people's lives have been destroyed. And I don't know, man, there's better ways to do things. There's smarter ways to do things. And nothing was done with anyone's best interests in mind. No matter what your political view it is, no one's interest besides people who work for the government or politicians, they all have done really well. They've made a lot of money. Yeah, so it's, and I thought we were a country. That's the other thing that's really sad to see here is now we're all individual states. And it's like, that's how, the USA is sort of broken up. But I always thought Australia was a country within itself. And I guess we've all had an education that that's not the case. We're all our own individual prisons, I guess. So yeah, we'll see how that goes going forward. But yeah, I bet you could grow a YouTube channel in the meantime to get some extra income. I'd like to think so. I've been trying to grow this YouTube channel for like 6 years, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if the algorithm hates me. I don't know if people just, I don't know. I think we've got a great little community here and I love it. And, but yeah, I just don't know if the content's not that interesting to a lot of people, or ski boots is just such a niche little topic. I like to think the whole idea is skiing more in general and that a lot of people are involved. But yeah, I'm sitting here at 5,700 subscribers, which I'm so stoked on. At first, when I first created this channel, I thought, oh, maybe I'll get 50. So yeah, it's better than I could have ever imagined. But also, YouTube doesn't show my videos to enough people. Like, you think your subscriber base wants to see your content, they don't notify or show it or whatever. So I'm just grinding. I'm just hoping to build it, and it's probably my own fault from not having a consistent schedule over time. You know what I mean? I always stuck. My old videos were always about trying to have long lasting content that provided good info and people could always refer back. Or if someone was looking at a boot that they want to review on, or if someone wanted to know something specifically, that doesn't matter when you tuned in, you'd always find that info. So that was the whole idea with what I did, but it wasn't like that daily, weekly, scheduled thing. That's hard to keep up when there's more, I guess, creative and informational side to making videos. But yeah, and then I just see other channels that just, I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, don't make good content, and they just get bumped and bumped and bumped and grow and get heaps of subs and views. And it's like, oh, don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm just going to keep going, man. Yeah, and keep trying. And yeah, something I love to do. And if it helps people, that's what I'm all about. Thanks, Virtual Circle, for the shout out on the products. A few of you, thank Roger, got your swag on Christmas list. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the support, and I know you'll love it. Like, my gear's not just there as merch, it's actually as good quality ski gear for your boots that are going to make your time on snow better. And that's what it's all about. Like, I'm not interested in selling anything that doesn't either solve a problem or make your boots better and actually increase your performance and what you can feel, and make things more comfortable for you. So that's what it's all about. Thanks for the shout outs on the products. Maui, Hawaii, watching you. Thanks, Fernando. Awesome, man. Great to see you here, and thanks a lot. And I hope your skiing is sick when you get over to Canada there. We're all traumatized. What's going on there is reprehensible. Yeah, I really hope there's some sort of solution and we don't just keep spiraling down this sort of hellhole. Merino is not durable, but it doesn't sink. I guess it depends on which brand of merino you go with. In here, I run with Icebreaker because it's just, in my opinion, the best merino. Some of it is extremely durable. Some of it isn't. They've started blending their fabrics, so they do some like core spun, where it's merino wool fibers spun around a more durable, I think it's sometimes either a lycra or polyester like inner fiber, which gives it, it's less likely to get holes or get eaten by critters or break down as fast. But it gives that extra strength. So a few of their items are just next level durable, and you still get that wool warmth against skin. I'm a huge fan of wool. I wear it so much. This is a wool t-shirt and wool jumper I'm wearing. And yeah, I love it as far as natural fibers. Really breathable, really nice, and weight to warmth even when wet. I stand behind merino. But yeah, some brands do make cheaper quality stuff, so you got to watch out for that. I'm a Queenslander who's been locked out of Queensland for 3. Oh, you got to be kidding. Where have they locked you out to, man? That's what's bullshit. Like, even getting across the border, being in your own country, you can't even get home. Like, that is absolute madness. Like, yeah, anyway. I had to search and stumbled upon your channel, and then I was hooked. I learned how to measure my ogre feet from your vids. Awesome, man. That's great. That's what it's all about. Skiing is one of those sports that you can talk testing, learn, and discover forever. That is why I love it. Every time is a new experience. Absolutely. And that's what's great about skiing. It's something you can do your whole life. You can never become too good at it. I don't care what anyone says. There's always technique you can work on. If you feel you're really great at one type of skiing, you can go challenge yourself with a different type of skiing. And there's always different terrain, there's different snow, there's different, technical challenges you can give yourself. And so you can always keep it interesting. And not only that, you can always ski with friends, you can ski alone, you can bring up your family to ski. It's something that's completely changed my life. I'm obsessed with it, and there's no other sport like it, in my opinion. So, yeah. And as far as the technicality of gear, I just find so interesting, and it never stops progressing. And also, getting to delve into those finer details and see what's possible to alter and change is what I love to talk about, and hence this channel. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Gaz. Yeah, man, let us know where you're stuck. Like, that sucks. I honestly can't believe that. Are you not willing to do the quarantine or whatever to get back into the state, or stuff it? You just don't want to go back? I wouldn't blame you. I'm a big fan of CEP compression thin sock, but thanks to you, I'm going to ski and give it a try to the Patriot Merino socks. Well done in technology. Yeah, awesome, man. Thank you very much. I'm really stoked to hear how the socks go and compare them to those CEPs. That would be cool. Awesome, guys. Yeah, well, so we've got a few things planned out anyway. We're going to do some watch parties on the World Tour and also maybe the World Cup. I will see when some events are on, and look for the post. I'll put it on the community post. And we'll get that happening. All right. Anything else? We are at 1 hour and 46, which is unreal. What should we move on to? We want to keep talking clothing, socks. Yeah, if we're going to talk socks, I guess brands that I'd put mine up against would be like Smartwool, Icebreaker, Lebent, other good quality socks that I think do stand up well, but I put a lot of effort into making sure mine were thin so it doesn't interfere with fit. Sometimes having socks that are a little bit thick in certain areas around your foot, you don't think it's doing much, but it actually can have a big effect on your blood flow. Also a big effect on what you're feeling in your boots. The way that interacts with the liner materials even can cause issues. And it's really about that proprioception and feeling inside of your boots, which is why I'm all about a super thin sock. I don't actually rate the liner only socks. I do think a bit of structure is important, just so they stay in place, and even a bit of shin padding is nice. Craig, have you tried out Carve? If so, is it worth it? Looks very interesting. No, I've just seen it. I've never had it under my feet. It's a good amount of info. It's like wearing a Garmin watch, I guess, but then taking that data and relating it to your skiing. Met the guy who was distributing it in the country here, and they were around for a little bit, and I don't know if he was part of the company or just a representative, but they've sort of disappeared from Oz again. But I've seen recent content posted on YouTube, so they're definitely still around and still pushing ahead. Give it a go. I'd love to hear what you think of the Carve and the data, and is it worthwhile? Is it actually giving you what you're looking for info-wise? I'll have a scout around to see if I can get some, and I'll try that out next season, actually, and I'll give a review of it. So you rock a puffer jacket, wool underlayer, and a shell. That is my usual setup on cold days for backcountry skiing. I'll wear either a merino t-shirt or a merino thermal, usually about 200 weight. And then I have a couple of different puffer options, but I would usually go for my Icebreaker Hyperia merino. But you could compare that to sort of any sort of like, moderately weighted puffer jacket with a down. Great thing about that down is very packable, so easy to get on and off, throw it in your pack. If you're not wearing your shell, you've got sort of like a more windproof jacket that is warm anyway. And yeah, so that's usually what I'm recommending on cold trips, or even, I mean, you can use that everyday resort skiing as well. But usually the case there would be I wouldn't really go the puffer in resort. I'd probably just go a mid-layer, a thicker mid-layer, whether that's a fleece, whether that's, a thicker wool piece. Or even something a bit thicker, even something similar to this for weight-wise, would work well for just everyday use. But yeah, that sort of 3-layer system is what I'd recommend most of the time. Some people do start adding on more and more, base and mid-layer combos, and sometimes 3 or 4 layers, 5 even. But yeah, I don't see worthwhile as far as temperature regulation. And if you get the right gear, that's when you're going to be optimized, so to speak, as far as like, not being too bulky, not being too restrictive, and still being able to trap the warmth in, and have a nice setup. I'm stuck in northern New South Wales within sight of the border. To go home, I have to fly there and hotel quarantine for 2 weeks. They say at least 8,000. That is insane. So what, are you hanging out at Tweed on the Gold Coast? Do you go to the new German Berlin Wall to see your friends and family? Which is just, from what I've seen, is just a bunch of traffic bollards separating the two sides of the Gold Coast. Madness. What would happen if you just, like, they can't have cops everywhere. Like, would you get arrested if you went across? You can't drive over to hotel quarantine. Like, some of it just seems really strange. But man, I hope that frees up for you. Surely that's going to change in the next week or two. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Will you come back to New South Wales if you get across to Queensland is a big question. I know a lot of people are moving up there with no chance of coming back down south in this, they'll just stay up in Queensland forever. You're absolutely right. The socks will allow to have better feeling in boots. Once I tried, never want to go back to puffy socks. Absolutely. The fact the rules are so different everywhere show how fake it all is. My friend in Ireland said they don't even have masks. Right. Yeah. I don't know. This place is crazy. I don't think I'll be allowed to go home without being vaxxed. Yeah, right. And that's it. I don't know. I'm probably this has probably been flagged and removed from YouTube all of a sudden. But yeah, crazy rules. Especially when it comes to your home. I don't understand how that can be justified, you not going to your own residence. It's, I don't know. Make a run for it, guys. Good on you for waiting. I wouldn't do that without checking. Yeah, I don't know. We can go into that. I'm not going to speak on that. I just hope you get home, guys, and it's got to change soon. All right, so 153. They trust you to do it yourself here. Do what yourself? To quarantine yourself? Yeah, I would have thought, because there was a lot of at-home rules, and they even have that now coming in for international visitors, don't they? They're not even quarantining people coming from another country. Yeah, Yeah, Roger's on the right path. Good vibes. Let's keep the vibrations up. Let's try to be a bit happier and stop talking about all that nonsense. Because we're moving on from it. Sorry, internet slob. Sorry, it's just the flow of chat. So yeah, let's go back to ski. Let's get back on the ski subject. Throw something out of me though. What do we want to talk about next? Back on skiing. Got nothing. I'm going quiet. It is pretty important and it does affect skiing. That is true because skiing is worldwide. Has anyone watched any good skiing content lately? I'd love to hear recommendations. I'm always looking out for stuff. And yeah, I'm probably a bit addicted to watching skiing content. But who wants to watch regular TV or, I don't watch Netflix or any shit like that. I find it much more interesting to see real people, good stories and creative people. So I'm most often on YouTube. Vlogs, edits, that sort of thing. Freeride World Tour. If we check out the lineup, all events, roster announced on the 26th. Calendar. All right, there's a new stop and new format. So let's share screen and we can plan it together here. So here is the calendar. I agree. So winter on the horizon. The Freeride World Tour is back for its 15th season. World-class destinations, 5 countries, exciting new tour stop, plus progressive formats. New home with Backcountry, Spain, if that's how you say it. Hosting the first event located in Val d'Aran in the Pyrenees. World-class resort, vast alpine terrain, copious snowfall, making it an ideal destination. Rising star Amar Navarro, who's an absolute nutcase. If you guys watched it last year, he just pins it. Saw some great just point and go lines from Amar last year. So I'm pretty excited to see him go again. If you told me 10 years ago it's possible for a skier from Spain to podium Extreme Verbier, I would have said you were crazy. And now it's going to be a competition at his home mountain. So that is sweet. So when is that on? Oh, January, we've got to wait. 22nd to 28th of January. All right, so we've got to find some things before then. So that's sort of like, a later start than I anticipated. But I guess I've got to wait for some of these mountains to set up with good snow, especially through Spain and Europe. And then we've got Andorra in the window is 30th of January to the 5th of February. Then we've got one of my favorite mountains with Kicking Horse, 12th of 17th of February. And then Saalbach, Hinterglemm or Fieberbrunn, 15th to 20th of March. And then finishing off with Verbier, Switzerland. So, good season ahead. But that's going to be late January that'll get going. So, let's try make the World Cups the first one that we tune into. Let's see if we can get any sort of schedule there. Isn't the next stop at Louise? So that could be good. 26th of November. No, we've got Lech Zers on the 14th of November. So that is at, I don't know if that's my time, 4 p.m. or 10 a.m. All right, lock that in. So, sorry, am I on the wrong? I will swap to the other tab. So, we missed the one at Solden. We've got Lech Zers next, then Lake Louise in late November as well. So, let's do some watch-alongs for that. That'll be fun. If I can bring up the calendar for FIS. And we could possibly also, if we're enjoying the watch parties, we also have the Olympics coming up. So that's going to be a pretty cool event to watch all the free skiing. And there's also maybe some World Cups in the lead up, which we could check out some park or maybe even pipe skiing if they're streaming that live too. Sorry, I'm back on the comments. So, Gaz, is Niseko good for on-piste runs? Yes, if you don't get a foot of snow overnight, which is pretty common to happen in Japan, but they will probably still groom in the morning before you go. It's definitely not just powder in Japan. There's plenty there if you want it, but you can hit groom runs all day. The Japanese themselves love to ski moguls and groomers. So especially those bigger resorts, there's heaps, on-piste runs are fantastic. And if you get a clear day, Niseko, super scenic and, place to be. What did I miss? You found an NZ trip in 2022. Doing that should be. Do I have a New Zealand trip? I want one. I think I've got that in the plans, actually. If that travel bubble opens again, or if it's easy to get over there, but current state it's not. But as soon as I can get to New Zealand, I want to go after our season because I work pretty hard through our winter. There's sort of another window of probably a month over in New Zealand where resorts are still open, and the backcountry skiing over there is phenomenal. So their window of winter actually stays open longer. So next trip I want to take is actually in October next year and actually go for a few weeks, because once the season's over here, the workload's not as much. And although I won't get as many days through my winter, I can make up for it by doing a couple of weeks over there and being out there every day. And I think that could be some awesome content. I know you can get into some helis there pretty cheap too. So that is pretty enticing as well. So yeah, that could be a cool idea. And I'm all for that. Really, the New Zealand guy has amazing videos. Who are we talking about there? Did I miss one of the suggestions? So yeah, throw them up if you know. I'll throw a subscribe their way. I'd love to see more New Zealand content if people are making it, because that place is very, very cool. Check out Trigger Boy 62. Will do. What is he doing? The carve videos are pretty good for teaching. Cool. I live in QT and last 3 years snow went easily into October. We only stopped Queenstown. Yeah, nice. We only stopped skiing 2 weeks ago. Awesome, man. Yeah, so are you still going to ski? Are you going to earn your turns, or you only just sort of stick to the resort? And which one are you skiing mostly? You hit Cadrona or Remarkables? What's the other one just across the way? That closer one to Queenstown. The name escapes me, but yeah, that also looked pretty sweet. And how's it been for you guys there? I know I was there. When was I there? It was like just as the Rona was emerging and there was no international tourism. It all sort of started to stop. So it'd be interesting to see how, Coronet Peak. How's town holding up? I know all those sort of jet boats and all the bus tours and everyone was already starting to struggle. I can only imagine now that, I don't know, are they just done for? Or also, you've got the other, what's the Milford Sound and all that sort of area. Like, it'd actually be really good tourism. I mean, not good really for New Zealand, but yeah, the whole South Island would be so cool to go around now, because there'd be bugger all traffic and yeah, everything you wanted to do would be pretty easily accessed. You'd have a lot to yourself. But I also imagine, like, we're still looking at pretty good snowpack locally here. So I can only imagine the snowpack in NZ is still super solid, and there's going to be a lot available. More technical racing style drills, but pretty well informative for all round skiing as well. Yeah, if you guys want other technical skiing content, I'd highly recommend also Paul Lorenz and Riley McGlashan, two guys who instruct here. Projected Productions is what their company is, and they do technical courses. They also have good content. If you're really into that racing, or if you're into that sort of very high analysis skiing, they are pretty decent guys to check out. Also, Tom Gelly is a guy who's got a bit of stuff around. He's an interesting guy, ski instructor as well, which you might want to check out some of his gear as well. Club scene is the shiz, yeah, for sure. Got to check some of those club fields out. Craigieburn, awesome content. We've got 3 weeks off in the middle. Few Aussies got here, but nothing after we locked down. Looking forward to you guys back next year. Town is pretty quiet. Few shops have closed, but house prices, well, no doubt. I know. Tom's on the carving vids. Okay, yeah. So he must have linked up with the Carve brand to help produce content. I'll actually go and check that out. Worked with Tom a little bit a couple of years back. So yeah, he's a good guy. And yeah, I'll go check Carve's newest vids out. That should be cool. Yeah, that's crazy with Queenstown. It sucks that shops have closed. Not what you want to see. I imagine that, the rents there for commercial space in town is not cheap. Yeah, so I hope things, we can get back there next year. I love Queenstown. Man, what a place. You're pretty lucky, I've got to say. And if I was going to move anywhere, and I've definitely considered moving, and that's high up on the list for me. That or Idaho. Just get completely to, away from the current destination. Or Russia. Maybe I'll move to Russia. Do I do construction in the summer? No, I don't. I used to. I'm a tradesman carpenter, so that's a past life. About 15 years ago, I was working as a tradesman, so maybe even longer now, 16. Yeah, quite a few years back. So I really, on and off through the years, a few small jobs over summer to keep things going, but for the most part, no, I'm in the shop. We do trail running, we do hiking. There's enough business to keep us going over summer. And also now, Patriot is my summer job, if not my only job year round. So yeah, besides working on the shop here myself in summer, I change a lot of stuff in here, so I'm always got something going on. I still do a bit of ski tuning over the summer months. We used to do a lot of ski gear for people traveling overseas. In the last 2 years, obviously that's gone, but if that bounces back, that keeps me busy as well. And I've been renovating my own house. So I'm nearly at the end of that now. Finishing up tiling a bathroom, hanging some doors. Then I'm at the end of my renovations, which is great. And it's either going to be sell and move into a bigger house, or it's going to be just bunker down see what happens. Interesting though, shit of a day today. I actually I installed a new kitchen just in a couple of months ago. I actually went to grab my microphone to bring it here to set up this live stream. I knocked it over and I've chipped the corner of my stone benchtop. So I am absolutely fuming with that, pissed off. I don't know how I've either got to try glue it a piece back on, or I've got to maybe epoxy repair it, or I've got to rip the whole fucking thing off and put a new bench top on. So that has ruined my day. Yeah, but I am a construction guy, but no, I don't currently do that in the summer months. We need decent boot fitters, mate. Yeah, awesome. Well, that would be the key. I'd either come and work, or I'd yeah, that'd probably be, if I was to move there, I'd just come and work and boot fit. That could be fun, or even start my own shop up over there. That would be awesome too. But I mean, it's no different to where I am here. Just nicer looking out the window, I guess. But yeah, definitely that is on the cards. I'd love to come and do that. How much of the true goes to wide skis, such 116, 180, 180 underfoot, requires a very stiff boot to drive these wide skis? Few times I saw this combo. Would you share your thoughts? There's other factors that come into it. Yeah, you need more leverage to drive a wider ski, but your weight, your leg strength, the flex of the ski are also big factors that determine the flex of the boot required to steer them. So I don't think that's a solid fact in that regard. I don't think that's as critical as getting a good fit, something that gives you rebound for your weight, and then you can steer any size of ski. Obviously, the stiffer ski you go or wider ski you go, the more power and leverage if you're sort of jumping off cliffs, looking to get solid landings, or really looking to ski quite aggressively. The stiffer boot, is going to respond better, but that is not the only factor for sure. Yeah, I saw the shop reno vids. I could tell you're a tradesman. The track saw is a dead giveaway. Okay, yeah. Do love the track saw. I want to invest more into a good table saw setup as well. That's something that space is my enemy. I've got a double garage full of tools. I need to get a property with a big shed so I can have a full workshop, because that will allow me to really do what I want to do. I suppose that's the dream of anyone who's a woodworker or a carpenter. Then you could get into the more cabinet making side of things. I've done a little bit of that. I'm pretty skilled as a joiner and cabinet making. So yeah, having that ability, and that's something even as a hobby that I like. But yeah, instead of having to, being able to build my own furniture, my own kitchen cabinets and everything like that, is what I'd love to do long term. Yeah, the track saw is great. That's actually a pretty dodgy track saw. I should invest into a good Makita one. But when you're not working in the trade, it's hard to justify the extra thousands of dollars on tools, even though they're nice to have. I've spent way too much money on tools in my life, and I can't walk into a hardware store without without buying something. Yeah, the stone, absolute nightmare, man. I can't believe it. It was so beautiful too. Like I'd finished the job. I've only got one backsplash left to do in my kitchen, and then it was completely done. And to do that today, I think I'm going to be quite upset walking home and having to face the chip again. So, but that happens. That's life. These things happen. It just sucks that I really like to get a job finished and complete and have it perfect, before something going wrong. So, yeah, that's kind of devastating. And it'd probably bug me to hell, and I might just buy a whole new bench top just to replace it, because I won't be able to live with myself. Anyway, epoxy with stone dust to color it. Yeah, that's what I'll probably try. Are you a carpenter yourself, mate? Are you a tradesman? Is that the reason why you could see that? Are you doing that sort of work yourself? And is that why you could take the whole winter off? You just earning good money in the summer? It's a great fallback skill, always useful. Yeah, and that's it. Like I got a skill young, out of school, and yeah, having a trade is invaluable, and it's invaluable just from even being able to do your own repairs, even having a good work ethic. A a good way to think. It's very mathematical. You really analytical. And you work with everyone from a design perspective to an engineering perspective, and you've got to know everything in between. And especially in the carpentry trade, you facilitate everyone else's work. So, you get a good broad base of knowledge. And yeah, I probably should jump back on the tools, because the money you can make right now with the building work going on around here is pretty good. But what stops me from delving back 100% into swinging a hammer is my back is not what it used to be. And I also don't like all the dust you've got to breathe in. And over the years, I probably inhaled too much crap from cutting fiber cement and doing renovations with old fibers and dirt and shit and, probably asbestos products and all that sort of stuff. So that stuff's not good to be breathing in. So yeah, and 15, 20 years ago, it also wasn't as stringent health and safety wise. So exposure to that sort of stuff's bad. And it's something I'm actually pretty cognizant of here in the workshop, with PTEX fumes and wax really isn't good for you. And there's even some like long industry guys locally here that, they're showing signs of poor lung health. And so it's something that I'm probably pretty focused on going forward. Like, yeah, you get a bit complacent with it, and, you just get the waxer running all day, and that stuff's just, it's going out into the air and people are breathing it in. And I've blocked that off from now fumes escaping into the main retail side of this store. But I've got to do a better job of extracting out of the workshop. And I'm probably going to buy one of those fully enclosed masks with a filter kit on the belt. They're a couple of grand, but probably a valued investment to save everyone's breathing. So yeah, things to think about there. And yeah, that's where I'm at currently. Have I skied New Zealand clubs? I haven't. So the only New Zealand skiing I've had is I posted a vlog on my first trip to Queenstown, and I went backcountry skiing out from the Remarkables. In that group I was with, they did one day at Cardrona, but I sort of skipped out on that day to go back with a cool bunch of people for another day of touring. So I've still got to get there and ski the regular resorts, and the club fields would be great. There's so much more in New Zealand I've got to see. So, yeah, definitely want to. Opportunity's hard. I get stuck here all winter. But, yeah, I see that window of that last couple of weeks. I don't know if the club fields still run that late. But if, yeah, that's when I'd love to check them out, given the opportunity. Yeah, I was a finished carpenter and CNC op for the university here. I do architectural visualization now. Nice. That's a good transition into some different work. And yeah, finished carpentry is great. A little bit more neat and defined and attention to detail. Sort of here in Oz, when I was doing my trade, it was a mix of both. So there wasn't as much separation. These days there's a lot of separation, but through my apprenticeship, it was framing and finished carpentry all in one, as well as some window joinery. And after that, I also went into a cabinet making workshop environment. So yeah, got some pretty good, skills in that regard that I could bring carpentry into, and then learn from more true cabinet makers as well. And so that gives a great other way to view, joining timber, and even more attention to detail. So learning some things that take a bit more finesse than what most carpenters' approach is. So yeah, I really like that, which has helped immensely in certain things. Exactly, chems, dust, and body damage adds up. Yeah, 100%. And better to damage your body skiing. I'd agree to that, and that's probably it too. It's half the reason why I'm so sore and can't ski as well as I used to, is because I have had too many crashes over the years, and that's probably also the accumulation to the body, which won't allow me to get out there on the tools as much. But doing things at my own pace is what I enjoy. So renovating my own house has been really fun, been a bit of a dream, and that's what I enjoy doing. So if I can balance that And that's why I'd like to sell and move on and get into a house and then have a new project to renovate. And if I do it at my own pace and work around my other work and holidays and schedule and life in general, then that's what I get most fun out of doing these days, rather than the stress of, you know, you build for other people, you've got to get it done. You know, time is money, scheduling and getting product. And yeah, so like it's a whole other stressful side of things. And you've got to be full time and pretty committed if you're going to make money and actually produce something good for people. So yeah, not a massive desire to jump back into it, but I definitely will if I have to. This has been good, mate. Thanks for your vids. Mrs. wants me to make dinner, so I have to bail. Let us know when you're coming across New Zealand. Be with you. Name on it waiting. Absolute legend. Thanks, man. I will see you in New Zealand, hopefully next year. And yeah, let's either set up a trip, grab a beer, and I'll be in Queenstown for sure. So awesome, man. Thanks for joining. Catch you in next video. One way to decompress my day is I always watch ski videos at the end of my day. Yeah, I usually start and end my day like that. But there's probably something wrong with me. Clubs normally earlier in the year. Okay, that's interesting. Is that because they're a bit higher up getting better snowfalls, or they just operate earlier in the year? Maybe if we have a really bad start to our season, I could sneak across for a few days. You must be the only Hawaiian watching ski bits. Would be interesting to see how many Hawaiians are skiers. Riley McGushin, Paul Lorenz, Mike Douglas, Sean Pettit, Deb Armstrong, some of my source of staying motivated. Awesome. Yeah, that's a good wide mix of people. I'm a carpenter too. I'm just finishing to build my cottage. Nice. Yeah, it's got to be nice to have a pretty tropical cottage out in Hawaii. Have you got a bit of land there, Fernando? And are you near any good surf breaks? It's fine to not be Hawaiian, but aren't you living there? Volcano skiing. And yeah, I think I saw you said earlier you're going to move to BC. Suppose definitely, you know, different building codes between the two areas. Not exactly catering for snow load on the roof. Yeah, I'm with you, man. There's no way. Not about the surf, not about the water. Sharks are absolutely terrifying. And yeah, as a teenager, I did surf a little bit, but I'm not a beach guy. DNLR kicked us from kite skiing. Yeah, we use insulation. Probably more focused on ventilation in Hawaii. Actually did a little bit of building when I was in Kelowna, and that was really cool to work, you know, see the Canadian side of building things. Definitely things that I didn't like. But it was fun working with like shakes and shingles and that sort of stuff, because we don't really do that in Oz as much. Seen a little bit of that start to permeate onto some buildings here from a design point of view. But moisture barriers and stuff like that was infuriating to work with when I was framing some houses in Kelowna. I did not enjoy that at all. And the spray insulation, I didn't like that at all. That was crazy stuff. Actually did a little bit of work in Toronto on some old buildings, and yeah, they were filling that with the spray foam, and I was like, what the hell is this? Much prefer some nice bats, a lot easier. And then if you need to alter any of the frame, you're not digging out that bloody chemical junk. But yeah, definitely have respect for you guys, especially with your basement foundations and all that sort of stuff as well. That's not something we do here in Oz. And I don't miss it. You can keep it. Grizzlies are as bad here in summer. Land sharks, absolutely. So I'm a trail runner, and that is the one reason why I'd love to come and run like Western States, or, you know, whether you can even qualify, but some of the events over in the States, some of those bigger trail running events. What is it, Hard Rock or yeah, like you've got a bunch of them. Bigfoot. There's some really cool trail running events, but man, there's no way. Bears, not a chance. I'd be terrified the whole time. I'd have like 5 bells around my neck. I'd probably carry a rifle and bear spray. I'd just be too paranoid. Yeah, let alone bloody, what's it called? What are those big cats you guys have got? Can't even think of them. What the hell is the name of the cats in your wild? Not cougars. What are they? Lions? Mountain lions. Yeah, you can forget that. Yeah, the wood available here is nuts. Beams of sizes you've never seen. Absolutely, yeah. That's impressive to the timber quality you guys have got. We have a lot of just pine. Merbau is our sort of hardwood that's most commonly used. All the other sort of other timbers, Tassie oaks, and a lot of that sort of stuff are harder to come by, and especially in big sizes, paying through the roof. But I really liked all the cedar you guys would use over there. There's a bit of cedar here, but again, it's super expensive, so not as common, and used mainly for like higher end windows and doors. Good old fiberglass in the eyes, yeah. Any of that stuff, absolute insulation sucks. Canadians are amazing joiners and timber joiners. I have a small construction company. I'm a general building contractor, but also a cabinet maker and finisher. Unreal. Yeah, a few good carpenters on YouTube to watch. I do like the Samurai Carpenter. I watch his stuff. Also, Scott Brown Carpentry. He's a Kiwi dude. He's not a very skilled cabinet maker, but he's had a go. But interesting to see. But yeah, he does some nice work. Just interesting to watch other people who are committed to filming. I think that's probably one of the hardest things is actually making content as you work is not easy. Especially when you're really focused in on your work itself, you can lose a lot of time and, thinking about the cinematography side of things. That's definitely my weakness and downfall. And you can't carry a gun here. I'm out here with hot sauce and firecrackers. Are you serious? I would have thought for sure in BC you could just at least, if you go on backcountry, surely you can have a pistol or something. Or pretend you're hunting. You're trail run hunting. Surely there's an excuse to be carrying something. Hawaiians are nothing but snowboarders. I'm 110% skier. Man, I'm so old, snowboarding didn't exist. For real? It's been around a while now. Yeah, there was a bit of beef back in the day between skiers' borders. Or pumas. Pumas. Are they in North America? Is that a real thing? I thought they were like, why did I think pumas were in Southeast Asia? Am I wrong? Shit, I could be. Samurai Carpenter, he has like he follows like the Japanese style of carpentry. So it's a lot of joinery without nails and screws, which to me, that's impressive. And a lot of like joinery that'll sort of either be very finely tight, or it's expanded in or fixed with pins. So I love that sort of stuff because it's so unconventional. He's building a cabin out. I think he's out on the coast, BC somewhere, a little island. So yeah, that's really sick to see. But some of the stuff he used to do on his old property was really impressive. What's another one? Third Coast Craftsman. I think he's more like he's done a lot of hand tool repair and stuff like that, but now he's built his own barn dominium. I don't know where he's based, but yeah, I like his work and he films really cool stuff too. So there's some other content, YouTube content I watch. Have I skied South America? I have not. But yeah, Argentina looks sick. Chile looks really good. That would be great to come. Well, go there, check it out. I know a lot of guys do the pilgrimage down to Chile in the summer. Yeah, it would be amazing. What's the one? There's one resort, La Leña. Looks so sick. It's like free ride terrain off the chairlift, and you can just go send it there. San Carlos de Bariloche, Portillo, yeah, Cerro Nevado, La Leña, absolutely great places, but I love all BC. Yeah, so that's probably an easy way to get down and ski year round rather than coming across the ocean, is just duck down to Chile. Yeah, that could be really cool. Pumas are South America. There you go. That's where school failed me, hey? I was about to Google that as well, see where those guys are located. But yeah, I'm not about those large animals at all. I'm glad in my part of the country, there's the biggest thing we deal with here is in summer, the deadly snakes. And that's the biggest threat. Everything else is pretty chill. All we've got is roos and deer. Other parts of the country, you got to worry about crocs and sharks and all that sort of nonsense. But yeah, we're pretty safe here, except if you step on something. Oh, well, there goes another half hour, 2.5 hours. You guys still enjoying yourself? Should we keep going? I probably need to pack up soon, go home and figure out what I'm going to do about my bench top. Unreal. Well, yeah, I think that's enough. I'm going to say thanks heaps for joining me, guys. I can see there's a few of you, 7 people watching that didn't really speak up. Make sure you join in the conversation. I really want to hear from you, and don't be shy. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. And yeah, hopefully, what are we? We're a couple of weeks away from the next World Cup stop. So I'll see you guys then. And there's also a couple of videos I'll release before then. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I am avoiding going home to see the countertop. So yeah, I've got to face the music and yeah. Thanks heaps, guys. I really appreciate you joining me here. It makes it all worthwhile to interact with you, and yeah, it's fun. So that's it. We'll call that a day, and I'll speak to you guys soon. And yeah, if you do get to ski soon, enjoy it. And if not, keep the hype going, the vibes up. And yeah, we'll speak to you soon. Go on you. Stay rad. Be a patriot. Catch you guys.